Hey guys, in this video we're going to be showing you how you can go about installing epoxy grout in your brand new tile installation.
Now, unlike traditional cement-based grouts, epoxy grout has a whole lot more durability. It's waterproof, stain-proof, doesn't require any sealing, and in general is just a much higher-end product. Now, it does cost a little bit more and requires a lot more elbow grease, but it is well worth it in my opinion. Now, before we can start installing the grout, we do have to prep the tile and ensure that we're ready to begin the process. To do this, we do just like to mix up 1 part white vinegar with 2 parts water and dampen a microfiber cloth with this solution. We'll then go ahead and saturate any leftover thinset on the surfaces of the tile, cleaning it off as we go, and then any larger chunks that were left in between the grout lines, we will try to get some of that solution to absorb into that thinset, as that will soften it up, and then it can be much more easily removed with a knife. Now, of course, best practice is to clean out the grout lines as you're installing the tile. However, with modern leveling clips, this isn't always possible, so you will likely have some leftover bits of thinset. It's important, if you're using a knife like we are, to clean out these grout lines. You're being very gentle. You don't want to chip any of the edges of the tile, so just take your time, be careful, and remember, the cleaner you have everything, the easier time your grouting experience will go.
So to install your grout, here are all the tools you need before you. We'll take a couple of sponges. We do like these Ardex sponges. We find that they're really useful for the cleaning and the washes. An epoxy grout float, which is different from a standard float. You'll need, of course, a drill with a paddle to mix your grout. And then the grout of choice for this project here is Spectralock Pro, which is a 3-part system. And within this bucket here, if we open this up, they do include a sponge. It's okay, we do just prefer these ones though. You'll have your part A and part B mixtures. Some instructions, which are always good to look over. Some gloves. And then your wash packets. So the way that this system works is that we're gonna start off by mixing the part A and part B mixture within this bucket. We're then gonna add our part C mixture. We're gonna install the grout. We're gonna wait a period of time. We're gonna add our initial wash packet with some water, wash the grout, wait another period of time, then mix the final wash additive to a fresh bucket of water, wash that, and that's the grout installed. So for our tile project here, we are using 1x2 tiles, so a large format tile with 1/16 grout joints. Because of that, we are using the mini unit of grout, and this is a really important step. You wanna make sure you have the right quantity of grout for your project. With a large format tile like this, I do find that these mini units are preferable because it does have a very short working time. So we wanna make sure that we can install all of the grout before it sets off on us. So for this, the mini units are ideal. If you are using a mosaic or a subway tile, you'd probably want to consider getting the standard unit. And they do even make a larger commercial unit, but probably not going to want to be using that one. Start things off, we are just going to prepare by getting our initial wash bucket ready here. Get that in, and then we're going to add 2 gallons of water. With this system here, we do have our part C, which is gonna be our color packet. Now the color for this project is Frosty, which is a very nice light gray. It's nice to have a little bit of pigment, I find. Now, when we go ahead and mix this, we wanna make sure that we're using the entirety of both the part A and part B. So we're gonna take our time to really get everything out of these containers. However, when we get to the part C mixture, just from experience, I have found that when you add the entire mixture of this, it does get rather thick and a little difficult to work with, and it feels like it sets up a little bit quicker. Laticrete does say you can leave out up to 10% from this container, so we are gonna go ahead and do that when we add this. However, we're also gonna go by consistency. I have found that with different packs, it's not always the exact same consistency. So as we're mixing this all together, once we start adding the part C, we're gonna add some and then see how it feels, and then add a little bit more until we find our desired consistency with it. really just want to squeeze this out, kind of like toothpaste. Now with the part A mixture, this does have a mild scent, would you say?
Mild.
Mild, so just be warned.
Sebastian says it is more than mild smell.
Sebastian has some descriptive words for this part. Okay. Now we're just gonna go low speed here on the drill. And it doesn't take much. It's already pretty thoroughly mixed here. I'm gonna start off by mixing what I think to be around 90% of this bag, and then we're gonna see how that turns out. And that's fairly loose here. However, this will start setting up very quickly, so I am actually okay with this consistency. You'll see within 5 minutes from now, this will already be quite firm. And that is almost the entirety of this packet here. Like I said, it does kind of change by packet, so. The way that we have found that we like to do this is we'll start with a wall, start at the top, work our way down, and then we'll shift to the next wall, same premise, start with the wall, work our way down, and then finally, our final wall here, exact same thing, start high, work down. If you've not used this stuff before, I would recommend only using what you can get done in about 15 minutes or so. So I know from experience, we're gonna be able to get these 3 walls done in that time, so I'm not too worried about it setting up in that time. However, again, if you haven't used this before, don't bite off more than you can chew. I do just want to push it in to the joint and then work it down. Now, a lot of this will fall, and that's okay. We do have everything protected below. That's part of the process here, is it's going to be a little bit messy. Top just to protect our ceilings. They are painted, of course. We can always have little touch-ups, but I will just take a small amount with my finger and try to push it in there.
Another great tip for your installation, if you are a beginner to this system, you see me here now grouting the profile in areas like the top where the tile meets the ceiling. These areas I do find take a little bit more time, so it might be in your best interest to leave these areas for last. Try to get the bulk of the easy sections, the main areas done first, while the grout still has a high workability, and then towards the end of your installation, go back to those areas when it's a little bit firmer, because they are smaller sections, so it's okay if you use a little more force at that point. You really don't want to waste the best working time of this material.
Now the corners, any inside corners, change of planes, we do want to leave free of grout for expansion and contraction. So with Laticrete and most grouts, they'll make a color match silicone, and that's what we'll use after this is cured to fill those joints. That way, as your house expands and contracts, your tiles, the grout, nothing will crack. You have that expansion joint. Despite what you may have heard on some other videos, we do not grout our inside corners here. You can already see, hasn't been long and it's already really firming up on me. And as I said, this is fairly messy process, so you will want to glove up and don't be afraid to get in there with your other hand. It's not going to be for everyone, of course, but I do find it a little bit easier that way if you can catch some of those droppings. Now, as this grout firms up, the more I use it here, the tougher it is to get into the joints. So you really do have to force it sometimes. And that's also when it will drop a little bit more too. That's just part of the process here. It does require a little bit of elbow grease to work with. Do you find you can load it up on the front kind of, and then really force it into those joints. New bucket, and this is gonna feel so good. Just how much easier it is to work in such a short period of time. It really does set off quick.
Now, I do just want to provide a little note here in that after we finished these shower walls, we did immediately move on to grouting the bathroom floor. If you are a beginner to this system, or maybe you're working alone, either way, I would strongly discourage you from attempting this. This is a product that we use on every job. There are two of us. We're very experienced with this product. So we, of course, felt comfortable doing all of the tile in this bathroom at once. However, epoxy haze is a very difficult thing to remove. You don't want to mess around with it. So I would instead encourage anyone to just protect their floor, tape it all off, cover it up, do your shower walls first, complete it all your washes, everything before attempting to move on to the floor. You want to take your time with this product. It's not something to mess around with.
Now the floors, of course, just a little bit easier, as gravity's actually on our side here. Now, the more we get all these crumbs off, the easier time we'll have during the washing period. However, if you are really racing against the clock, it is okay to leave a little bit. You don't have to be perfect here. And then sometimes it just helps clean off your float a little bit. Start fresh. We really want to fill up those joints, forcing it in there. That's going to ensure you have a good installation. Now, what'll happen sometimes when you're going to fill in a grout joint, and here we're against the tub, we get a little bit in there, that's okay. We're not going to worry about that for maybe an hour or so, and eventually we can clean that out to make room for silicone. But for now, it's okay. We're just going to leave it. With these floor registers here, this is an ARIA or FITS tileable floor register. So this one here is the light version, and I'm not actually going to fill in any of this with grout. Instead, we are going to use a color match silicone because these are subject to moving. Of course, they get hot, they get cold. It's an ABS, I believe, so the silicone will prevent any cracking. So for now, we're just going to kind of leave this as is. Again, it's okay to be a little messy here. The haze is pretty strong with an epoxy grout, but it is workable. There are solutions.
You having fun yet?
I'm so tired.
Me too, man. Working two cameras at once.
Woo.
Let me tell you. Number 7.
It's so firm, but I don't want to have to mix another one.
2 sponges, ready to go. So I like going in a nice circle motion, nice and light, which loosens up all the epoxy resins. Okay, and now that this is all loosened, we can go back, hit it with 45s. You can do, I don't know, a grout joint or two, then flip your angle, your sponge. So I just use this side. Now we're going to use this side. And again, flip to the back. And you can even use the small sides. And at that point, I would consider this sponge done. To the wash bucket we go. For first wash, it's pretty imperative that you squeeze these out really well. Otherwise, you're gonna wash out your joints. So again, I can do nice broad angles, get all this stuff off the tile. Any little parts. Okay, and now we can start working down lower. Again, loosen up all the resin with a nice circular motion. It makes it easier to wipe off. And I'm not pushing hard here. Otherwise we're gonna wash the joints out.
I realize this is a very small task, however, I cannot stress how helpful it is to have a second person during this initial wash phase just to wring out those sponges. You don't get a whole lot of mileage on a single sponge during the first wash here, so just having someone to constantly be wringing those out and cleaning them for you can really speed things up and help you get a perfect install.
I don't know if you guys can see this. It looks like spider webbing or something. That's the epoxy. I keep calling them resins, but it's basically the glue. And small circular motions with the additive loosen that right up.
For our second wash now, it will be a very similar process to the first wash. We do just want to wait roughly an hour after having completed that initial wash. So we'll add the second wash packet to 2 gallons of water, give it a good mix up. And then a different step we like to use for this wash is we will use a sponge as well as a microfiber cloth to do the cleaning. So we'll very similarly take that sponge, kind of give the tiles a good wipe with it. And then after that, we'll take a dry microfiber cloth and just kind of soak up any of that leftover water on the tile. And this is going to greatly reduce any chance of a haze being left. Another step that you might incorporate is the next day after completing this installation, if you do notice any spots where there is maybe a slight haze, you can actually take diluted white vinegar and just kind of scrub away at it with a microfiber. And we have found that just for small little areas, imperfections, you are able to kind of get rid of anything like that.
It's really hazy. The washing doesn't take it off, but what does is a microfiber following the wash.
Any spots where you did get some grout into the corner, we do this maybe after second wash. Kind of just take a knife and get any of that grout out of there very carefully so that we can make room for the color matched silicone. Laticrete does have Latisil, which is the silicone that you would get to match the grout and use it in any of your corners. And this is going to allow for expansion and contraction and create a really clean final look. One final tip for your second wash is you can actually go around with a flashlight and try to hit the tile at different angles, and that will just highlight any haze that you might have missed, so you can be really thorough that way. Anyways, that'll do it for this one. I hope that everything here made sense and that you enjoyed the video. If you learned anything useful, you want to see more, just maybe hit that like or subscribe button on your way out, and I wish you the absolute best of luck with your grouting journey. Take care.